Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Taurus season, April 19th through May 20th, 2025. My name is Renee. This is Embodied Astrology, and this is a reading for all of your Sagittarius placements. So please listen for Sun, Moon, Rising. Everybody has Sagittarius in their chart. Everybody has a ninth house. Everybody has Jupiter. All of those placements connect in with Sagittarius energy, and if you are unsure, start off listening for your rising sign or for your sun sign. Remember, this is a general reading, so please take what works and leave the rest. Okay, Taurus season for Sagittarius. Oh my gosh. Well, the first thing that I want to say, Sag, is reflect on the last 7 years. In 2018, your life really started to change. And I don't know what that was for you. Some of you really began some kind of new chapter with your job or your work. And I want to differentiate here between career and labor. So we can have careers that on the outside, it's all kinds of things, but then the actual labor is really different. From the outside, you might think, oh, Renee is an astrologer. But if you actually spend time with me every day, you would know that a lot of the work that I do is administrative. A lot of what I do is like mapping as a somatic astrologer. A lot of what I do is body practice and meditation. What you see on the outside is not necessarily what's happening in the interior of it. So if you reflect back to 2018, something about your day-to-day practices really began to shift. Now, this wasn't necessarily about labor or jobs for everybody. There may have been other kind of changes that began for you around that time that really affected your day-to-day that could have been health related and may also have had something to do with other people's health or well-being, caretaking, caring for yourself, for others, for the environment, for your responsibilities, your obligations, your duties, etc., is also labor. In 2018, something started to change. And over the last 7 years, this shift for you, I'm going to say, has completely altered your day-to-day existence and experience. 7 years is a long time, so a lot of things could have happened, but in this time, I feel like many of you have been quite destabilized. Rhythms that you used to have needed to change. They needed to fall away. Some new rhythms, patterns, regularities, habits needed to be put in place. In order to put those in place, you may have had to experiment. You may have had to innovate. There could have been a kind of rebellion that you felt where you needed to smash everything and then start over. As I mentioned, there may have been things happening to you, happening in your body, happening in your environment that totally destabilized your rhythms, your regularity, your habits, etc. In these last 7 years, you have woken up in certain ways to the needs of your day-to-day in very new and different ways. On a big existential level, the needs of our day-to-day really have so much to do with the needs of the world. I think that many of us, and probably those of you who find yourself looking for horoscopes to tune in with, many of us really want to feel that we are in service to something that is bigger than us. And in the ways that we care for our lives, that we care for our bodies and our relationships, and that we labor, whatever it is that we might work towards, I think we hunger, we long for ways of working that are truly productive and beneficial, that are truly generative. And I don't mean just for capitalism. I mean for the world, for the living, breathing, relating, interconnecting, interdependent world. We want to be in service to what we ultimately believe in and feel that we are part of. So I'll pause there for a moment and say that if what I've said so far resonates for you, then this is your reading. So let's keep going. And if what I'm offering to you does resonate, please let me know how. Leave me a comment, press the little like button. Definitely make sure to subscribe. It does help my channel. It does help me continue to offer these free readings. Sagittarius is a sign that is a generous sign. Your ruling planet is Jupiter. The energy of Sagittarius has to do with big vision and big picture. Over the last year, Jupiter has been transiting your opposite sign, Gemini, and in the sense of wanting to be part of something bigger, I think many of you have really started to network in new and different ways. There are influences or organizing in 2025 and in 2026 in new configurations that for Sagittarius identified people is leading to different kinds of collaborations and connections in the ways that you are working and how you're operating in your day to day. I think a lot of you are working differently with the world and with people around you. You have a big picture vision for something, and you want to realize this big picture, but Sagittarius, you cannot do it alone. The awareness that you cannot do it alone might seem basic, but the ways that it lands in your body is subtle and nuanced. And in these last 7 years, I think that that's been a big part of what has been waking up for you, is where you are totally interdependent with others, where your efforts can only succeed because others are efforting with you. In your life right now, if you want anything to grow and succeed, you need to be relational about it. You need to be in what I'm going to say is quote unquote right relationship about it. Now, when I say right relationship, I don't mean right versus wrong. I mean something that is more subtle and felt and embodied when you know that you're in the right space of relationship. And that's a moment to moment experience. And that experience happens because you are being honest, and your honesty is necessarily embodied. How we feel in our deepest sense of alignment and truth is not always what our minds want us to feel. Our minds can get really caught up and confused by other people's ideas, by news or information that we're getting from somewhere else, by expectations that have been laid in by who knows who or when or where. But when we can really tune in with the truth of our bodies, we know what our limitations are, we know what our needs are, we know where our no's and yeses are. And the subtle honesty of our bodies is something that we're not really taught to listen to in society. And so it requires practice. It requires devotion. And I'm going to say, requires a lot of courage. It really requires bravery and willingness to sometimes be different, to be the odd one out. If you're not adhering to the status quo because your body says something different, that can sometimes be incredibly risky. And I think that over these last 7 years, a lot of you have been waking up to your bodily intelligence in new and different ways. And this is then helping you innovate, update, shift, and transform how you're in relationships with other people. It is helping you collaborate and combine your energy with other people more skillfully and effectively because you know what your limits are, you know what your no's and your yeses are, you know what you want and what you need. And so you have had to learn to communicate differently. This is a big area of growth for you presently. And this kind of combination of shifting how you feel and shifting what you're working towards and how you're working and the ways that you are relating in whatever the work is that you're doing, this is the focus in Taurus season. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for a moment and ask you just to tune in with your body a little bit. As an embodied astrologer, one of my favorite ways to work with astrology is through sensation. Now, we all have all 12 signs in our chart. We all are working with all 12 archetypal imprints. Now, Taurus lives in the parts of our bodies that are in the lower jaw and lower teeth, the tongue, the throat, the neck, the base of the brain and the skull, and the tops of the shoulders. And this is a place where a lot of people hold a huge amount of tension. The mouth and the jaw is a gate, right? And our voices, of course, expel and output, express from this gate. And then we also eat. We take in the world. We breathe. We swallow, and become formed by what passes in the intake of this gate. So Taurus as an energy is often talked about as a highly creative energy. It has to do with the fertility and the life-giving power of the earth. Our bodies are made of earth. When we vocalize something, when we speak something, we speak it into existence. When you are able to speak what you want and what you need, and that could include gesture, it could include write it down. It doesn't always have to be vocal, but when you're able to articulate, you start to build the foundation of reality that you are creating. The world is creating your body all the time by what you intake. If your jaw and throat and tongue are really clenched and tight, you are effectively separating your head from your body. The tension that we gather around our jaw is often tension around not speaking our truth, feeling that we are somehow misaligned in our environment, needing to brace somehow, and not getting our needs met. It's really important for everybody, and I'm going to say especially for Sagittarius right now, to be working with high levels of embodied curiosity. When you notice, if you notice that you're really tight in your jaw, if you're clenching your teeth, if you're tight in your throat, what is it that is trying to emerge, that's trying to express, that needs to be spoken? What are the needs that you are needing to be met? Tension is a call for attention. So the tense spots in our bodies are doing important labor. They're doing important work, holding energy for us. So when we locate tension, we don't necessarily immediately just want to wipe it out and erase it and get everything to relax. We want to be curious about, what is this tension doing for me? The jaw is intimately connected to the pelvis and to the hips. And Sagittarius, your sign rules the hip joints. Your sign has governance over the thighs and the glutes. These are places in our bodies that mobilize and move us into action. And when the jaw is tight, often the pelvis is tight and the lower spine is tight as well. And so if you notice that you're feeling tense about things, one way to help yourself loosen up is to move your lower body a little bit, to sway your hips, to bend your knees, to find a sway or a rock, or to take a walk. Conscious relaxation in both parts of your body can also help you tune in with how you're actually feeling. Now, it depends definitely on your natal chart, but I will say, just as a general rule, that fire signs are not feeling signs. They are signs of inspiration and action. And Fire signs can be quick to leave the realms of feeling sometimes because they like to feel inspired, motivated, and active. In Taurus season, there's a lot of momentum moving into fire. So we have Mars leaving its retrograde shadow, Mercury leaving its retrograde shadow. Mars is in Leo, Mercury is in Aries. Venus will re-enter Aries and leave its retrograde shadow later in the season. Lots of fire support coming in. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Let me return to where I was going. I jumped ahead of myself talking to you about it. So tune in with your body, Sagittarius, because this is a season that is wanting you to really focus on how you're working and what you're working on. There's a lot of creative energy. There's a lot of directional energy. I think many of you feel really inspired. You feel motivated. You feel activated, and you're wanting to work with other people. And whatever it is that you are working on, other people are part of it. They might be part of it through conflict and argument. Sometimes we know what we want by knowing what we don't want. I think a lot of you, my hope is that a lot of you are experiencing dynamic, exciting new collaborations. There's creative energy when other people are around. What you are creating could be anything. You are always creating your life. Many of you are creating interesting projects. A lot of you are creating community. You're creating family. And again, there's this kind of ongoing emphasis for you right now on whatever it is that you are laboring for. In this period of time, the more you can be at ease and fluid in your body and not kind of clamping down or clenching down in your own energy, the more honest you can be in your communications and the more skillful you can be in the ways that you are exchanging information and energy with other people. This is really important for your collaborations and for whatever it is that you are working on right now. So if you notice that your jaw is clenched, that your tongue feels tight, that you're like feeling kind of rigid in your own spine or hips, wiggle it out a little bit, stretch your jaw, take a deep breath. Remember that you can mobilize yourself in ways that you could choose. You can be a little weird sometimes and wiggle in public. And when you find your own fluidity, when you can feel your own body, that is when you have more access to what you need, to what you want, to your clear yes, to your clear no, etc. Okay, so let's talk about some timing. We go into Taurus season and we are finishing up retrograde shadows as we move towards the Taurus new moon on April 27th. The first, I'm going to say 10 days of Taurus season from April 19th. Let's just give it until the end of April. This is clarifying for what we are letting go of. In March, February, January, back to last December, there was big breakup energy. This breakup energy is definitely continuing into the first part of Taurus season. And I think a lot of people are really feeling done with certain things. Now, I don't know particularly what you are done with, Sagittarius, but as an kind of like energetic vibe, I feel that a lot of you are just done being places that you don't want to be. That could be in your own energy. That could be in your vibe. That could be in your workplace. That could be in your family. It could be where you live. Many of you are done with particular kinds of family dynamics, and you no longer want to be investing in them. Some of you are feeling like there just needs to be a kind of up leveling or shift in how you are kind of holding yourself in your own countenance and self-confidence. And as we move into Taurus season, I think that a lot of you have increased clarity on relationships, on needs. There's been some big illumination for you around limitations. You don't have energy for everything and everybody. You can't give all the resources that absolutely everything needs everywhere. And you need to be focused on what you actually want to be building, growing, and generating right now. And that means that you have to pull focus away from some other places, possibly. When it comes to how you do this, especially the first week or so of Taurus season, especially as we move towards this new moon on April 27th, communication is key. If you're feeling angry, passionate, and fired up about something, check in with your body. If your body is rigid, if your jaw is really tight, if your spine feels really tight and you're trying to communicate from that place, no bueno. It's not going to go over well. Your vibe is going to come off as super aggressive and controlling and domineering. People are going to fight with you. They're going to feel like you're, on one, and they're not going to want to listen to you. So you need to relax. If you're trying to get people to, coordinate in some way, and a lot of you are doing something around this time. I don't know what it is, but it feels like you are in positions of inspiration or teaching or guidance or some kind of leadership. You want to get people on board for something. Some of you might be trying to share and spread some kinds of information. If that's what you're doing, the best way to get people to listen to you and to get on board with whatever it is that you're trying to get them on board with is have a good time with it. Sagittarius, the best way to get people aligned with your cause is to give them a cause to feel joyful. The movement building potentials in Sagittarians charts right now are enormous. So I think a lot of you are really part of some kind of organizing efforts. The more that you can experience joy with people, the stronger your movements are going to be. Dance together, laugh together, listen to music together, know what you are building towards. Imagination is powerful. If we are only focused on what we don't like, if we're trying to coerce people through fear or through threat with ultimatums, we're not going to have a coherent movement. When people are joyful, when they know what they are working for because they feel that there's creative potential there, then their energy is more sustainable. So it feels really important right now that you not give in to fear, that you not get into some place of ultimatum with your own thinking. Remember to try and relax and have fun as much as you can. And a great way to do that is to move a little bit. So put on some music that you enjoy, try and dance, breathe, relax your body, relax your brain, and see where you can connect with other people in ways that are delightful and inspiring. Now, I'm going to say that this influence really increases as we move into the month of May, especially with Venus coming into Aries and the fifth house in the Sagittarius solar charts. This is a time for joy. Even though it is a time of heartbreak, devastation, and all kinds of bullshit in the world, it is also a time for joy. As people see what they don't want, they are increasingly open to new ideas for what they could want, Sagittarius. And I feel like you have some new ideas. Now, you might have ideas that you've been working with for a while, maybe even since 2018 or earlier. These ideas feel creative inherently. They feel really generative. And I think that a lot of you have something to share around this time. If any of you work with young people or you can access inner child energy for yourself or with others, this is a really supportive time for that kind of work. This is such a powerful time for you to be working with arts and creative expression, anything that gets you or other people feeling playful. I also want to say that this kind of like romantic, flirtatious energy. Now, I can't remember if I was just talking to you or Aries about it, but it doesn't matter. I will say that romantic, flirtatious energy is the stuff that the universe grows on. If you study cosmology, you'll know that the primordial kind of birth of creation itself came from feeling eros, right? The erotic is feeling life force. It's feeling excited. It's feeling attracted. And so How can you access that kind of energy right now? Where can you look for it? How can you find it? How can you evoke it and build it with yourself and others? This is glue. This is cohering, organizing, kind of power when you can access it. Moving forward into the month of May and towards the end of Taurus season, there's something that is coming to not necessarily an end, but a transition point in the ways that you have been reorganizing yourself around these themes of labor, your day to day. There may be some aha moments, some awakening for you around your body, your needs, your own sustainability, and the kinds of care that you can give to yourself, that you can ask for, or that you want to be participating with. Some of you may be having big breakthroughs when it comes to labor, to work, to organizing. I will say that as a person who's interested in evolution and revolution, this is a very powerful time for labor movements and for organizing around solidarity. If any of you are involved with this kind of thing right now, this is a very, very powerful time for you to be organizing. And I think that moving into the middle part of 2025, May through October, take the opportunities. This is a time to really work for it and to push for it. From 2025 until 2026, we are in a transition. We are in a big transformation collectively. And this is a time for us to really give it all, to give what we have, and to work hard for what we believe in. And I will also say that the ways that we are working want to change. They need to change. A big part of the revolution, I think, is not working for just a couple of people to be super wealthy in the world, but really to work to provide what we need for ourselves and each other in more collective ways so that we can enjoy and take care of the world. If that resonates for you, how can you organize and orient in those directions right now? I will say, Sagittarius, that I think it has something to do with experiencing bodily pleasure. This might be rest. This might be recuperation. This might be really encouraging people to slow down and listen to their bodies and enjoy the sky and the air and the land. This might be dancing together, listening to music together, learning how to take care of our bodies, how to do, self-care, self-massage, something like this. There may be ways that you are thinking about distribution of resources so that people can have more of their needs met. That can include you and people who you care about, as well as larger general themes. But it feels like a lot of you are, it's like you're having big, brilliant moments right now. And the brilliance that's coming in for you is around how things work. How can things work better? So the last thing that I want to say is kind of where I started, which is a question for you around what are you in service to? What are you working towards? Everyone is part of something that's so much bigger than our concepts of self. We're part of what's so much bigger than even what we identify with, whether that's family or culture or our jobs or certain points of identity. We are part of the air, we are part of the water, we are part of land, and we are all creating and co-creating the future and the present moment together. None of us have control over the whole thing, but all of us can contribute. In the ways that you are able to contribute right now, Sagittarius, I want to ask you to contribute with your whole heart. When you contribute with your whole heart, you are deeply feeling love. You are feeling appreciation. You are feeling gratitude. You are focused on what is beautiful and what you really care about. When you contribute with your whole heart, you may very clearly know what you are against, what you don't want, and what pisses you off. But to really contribute with your whole heart, you have to be focused on what you love. If you devote yourself to that, as much as you possibly can in Taurus season and into the rest of the year, there are opportunities that are opening for you. They will not open for you if you are not devoted. You need to be devoted with your whole heart. You need to know why you are here and what you are wanting to offer. That's qualitative energy. That's a feeling tone that you have. It's not something that you can put on your LinkedIn profile. It's something that you live. Commit to that every day. You're not always going to be perfect at it. Some days you're going to be cranky. Some days you're going to be tired. Some days you can stay in bed. When you listen to your body and your body's needs, your body will be very honest with you about how you can best serve what you are really devoted to. And as human beings, we can't always be productive. We can't always be laboring constantly. We do need to rest so that we can also receive the beauty that is here on earth and with each other. Sagittarius, I hope that you can practice that in Taurus season in 2025. If you want support in practicing that, come join me on a Monday in Somatic Space from 8 to 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, or get the recording if you can't attend live. Every single week, I offer a practice that is very much about listening to our bodies, tuning in with our somatic sensibilities, being in practices of gratitude and appreciation for the earth, for spirit, for elements, and really tuning in with our inner wisdom and inner guidance. You can also join all kinds of events that we offer at Embodied Astrology. We have study groups and community spaces if you're interested in getting support for the amazing organizing or relationship building that you are doing. I don't know what your projects are, but astrology can be a really interesting way to complement whatever it is that you do. And Embodied Astrology is all about the application and the synthesis and experimentation of astrology with other forms. You can find more information about what we offer on our website. And I think that some of you might want to join us on April 27th, which is the Taurus new moon. We're going to be having a live conversation over Zoom with a practitioner who does really interesting work weaving together somatic psychology, community liberation work, and astrology and other forms of mysticism and spiritual practice. Their name is Care. You may have encountered their work through the Erotics of Liberation, which is their current project and website. We're really excited to converse with them. We're going to be talking about the work of abolition as a communal, generative, creative project and where astrology can fit in. More information on everything is in the show notes. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this horoscope. And Sagittarius, I'm wishing you all the best in Taurus season and beyond. Bye for now.